New videos every day.
Do you have a great idea for a book? Would you like to commit it to paper, but aren't sure quite how? My name is Justine Tal Goldberg. I run Writebynight, a writing center and writer service headquartered in Austin, Texas. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to write a book in 30 days. So first off, let's talk about goal setting. You're going to want to think about whether or not you have a specific timeline for this project. So I just mentioned that I'm talking about how to write a book in 30 days, but the tips and advice that I'm going to give you today really apply for any time frame. So it could be 30 days, it could be 2 months, 3 months, it could be a year. So you just basically need to sit down first off and decide, how long do I have to take care of this project? Do I have a deadline? Do I owe the book to somebody? Do I want to make sure that somebody reads this book in a certain amount of time? So that's step one. Just decide when you want to have the book done. Once you've decided on your time frame, the next step is to think about your scheduling. And this is something that I've discussed in previous videos as well. It's very important to take a block of time each and every day to write a portion of the book, especially if you're working on a time frame like we are. So if you're trying to get the book done in 30 days and you have, say, 1 hour in the morning that you can work on the book, or 1 hour at night that you can work on the book, that's great. Just make sure that you stick to your schedule. It's all about discipline. It's very, very important to make sure, even if you wake up one day and you don't feel like doing it, you're not feeling creative, you're not feeling in the mood, just, sit down, take the pen to paper, see what happens. If you're an especially busy person and maybe you don't have a block of time during the day, try to get creative with where you can make time. So for example, if you have a half-hour commute in the car on the way to work, on the way home from work, you can take a little handheld tape recorder with you and you can speak the book and make sure that you're recording yourself, obviously. Then later on, you can sit down and transcribe the words from the recording onto paper, and there you go. You've gotten your work done for the day. So once you've decided on your time frame and you've given a little bit of thought to your scheduling, you're going to start the process of writing. And of course, this is the most important part to actually getting a book written. As I mentioned in a previous video, writing, to me, is 99% ass in the chair. You got to make sure that you sit down and get the work done. Pretty obviously, right? If you're not doing the writing, the book is not going to get done. So when you sit down to write, a few questions to ask yourself before you even begin. You're going to want to know your style. So you're going to want to maybe sit back for a minute and just say to yourself, do I work better when I'm just sort of writing free form? Do I just kind of want to let it spill? Or do I want to take a couple minutes before I begin the writing process and do a little outline? Keeping in mind, of course, that that outline is not set in stone. It's never set in stone. With the writing process, nothing is ever set in stone. So you're going to want to give yourself the freedom to stray from that outline. But if you're an especially organized sort of type A person, you may want to think about an outline because it will give you sort of a starting point and an end point. So now you've set some goals and you've put yourself on a schedule and hopefully you've begun the process of writing. So at this point, I am going to give you a little extra assignment. Don't be mad. Every day that you write, I want you to be in a position to accept your limitations. So here's what I mean by this. At the end of the day, preferably before you go to sleep, make a list of the elements of your writing that maybe you feel are not sort of up to par. They're not quite where you want them to be. Kind of things about your writing or about the process that you feel might be weaknesses for you. You might also want to add to this list things about the writing that you wish that you had done that day that you didn't quite get to. Maybe you didn't quite reach your goal for the day. You aimed to write for half an hour, but you only wrote for 15 minutes. So just make this list, basically a list of negatives, a list of your limitations. Write all that down, then crumple up the paper and throw it away. In this way, you will accept the fact that you're not a perfect person. Nobody's a perfect person. We're just doing the best that we can. So we have a goal. We're going for writing a book in 30 days. And, with some accountability and commitment to the project, we will get the work done. But it's a matter of allowing yourself to be a little forgiving when you can. Another thing that you're going to want to do is keep in mind a system of rewards. So on the days that maybe you do achieve your writing goals, try to brainstorm things that you enjoy, little things. You know, if you love strawberries, for example, maybe you could go out, you could buy yourself a little box of strawberries and allow yourself a treat at the end of the day. Give yourself some TV watching time at the end of the day. Take a nap in the middle of the day if you can. Whatever it is that you enjoy, make sure that you're rewarding yourself for all the hard work that you're doing, and that will help to keep your spirits up during the process and help you to remain positive. So now let's take a giant leap forward in this process. If you set yourself up for writing a book in 30 days or 60 days or 90 days or a year or whatever it is, let's jump to the end of this project, okay? Now you have written every single day a certain number of pages or for a certain amount of time, and slowly, the pages have been stacking up. So now we are at the point where you have written a book, right? You have 90 or 100 or 200 or 500 pages. That's your book. You wrote a book. That's fantastic. So it's wonderful. It's an amazing accomplishment, and you did do what you set out to do. The thing to keep in mind now is, and again, as I've mentioned in previous videos, writing is rewriting. So what you may want to do is give yourself a break, give yourself some time to kind of step back from the project. Chances are it felt a little bit intense for you, to sit down and write every single day. So take a step back, take a week or 2 weeks or however much time you need, just sort of give yourself a breather. And then it's time to jump back in and begin the process of revision, which is extremely important. It would be wonderful if we could all sit down and write and genius spills onto the page, but no, most of us are in a position to have to go back to our work and make it feel and read like a genius. So again, be proud of yourself, reward yourself that you did the work, take a break, and then you'll have the opportunity to come back to it. And in a future video, I can certainly talk about processes of revision. So that's basically how you write a book in 30 days. Hopefully this was helpful for you. A couple things to remember here. Again, this is all about sort of commitment and positivity. So if you are willing to make the commitment to sit down and do the writing every day, you will get the project done. If you feel like you need a little bit more accountability, if you feel like maybe it's not enough to just promise yourself that you'll do the work, often it's not. It just depends on a variety of factors. So if you feel like you need that extra accountability, the month of November is actually National Novel Writing Month. And in this month, it's an organization, and you can certainly feel free to look it up online. Many people, thousands of people across the country attempt to write a novel in 30 days in the month of November. And the approach is very similar to what I've talked to you about today, basically sitting down every day, producing a certain amount of words, a certain amount of pages, and lo and behold, you have produced a book. So that is a very useful resource if you feel the need to look into it. In a future video, I'll give you some tips on revising your work. And in another video, I'll review some common mistakes in writing and how to correct them. Thanks for tuning in today, folks. If you'd like to learn more about me or my business, Writebynight, please visit www.writebynight.net. And remember, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel.